Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different. You may notice that I am currently alone, and I've been covering ESL Open Cup Asia, at least the second half of it, with Yaku of the Zaku, and he'll be joining me for the rest of the series. But here for game one, I'm going to be recovering it myself. And what I mean by that is that during the live broadcast, the stream went down, my internet did cut out, and I actually we missed out on game one. Completely missed out on it. I missed out on it. Yaku was able to stay in the lobby and able to have the replay, which I'm now going to be covering. Now I'm going to be covering myself. I'm going to be splicing this into the YouTube VOD and going to be adding it to the front. And then, of course, we have myself and Yaku live casting the tail end of, or the continuation of this series as well. But game one, we missed out on. But I have the opportunity to cover it here and now. So welcome to the grand finals of ESL Open Cup Asia number 205. Best of 5 between Dark and Cure. Unfortunately, no predictions in the chat this time, as alas, that opportunity has come and gone, and I don't think we were able to really get it underway at the time. But here we go, diving into game number 1, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of site Delta, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Terran player, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Bam, there we go. It's like I knew there was something missing. We are diving into game number 1 here, and again, unfortunately, first time around I was unable to really bear witness to this game, so I'm ready to be introduced. I'm ready to experience it all here together. As for now, Dark is going to be going for a hatch first. As we get into our openers here, pretty interesting to take note that Cure is going for a Rax expand. Cure has been very fond of going for 2 Rax Reaper openers, 2 Rax Reaper into a third base. He's also been into a natural. He's also been actually quite fond. Oh, that's me! No! Smudge. That's when my internet died, Papi. I got into the intros and then bam, it was over. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah, that was me leaving in real time, dropping in real time. Ooh, and we may have to ignore the platypus a little bit there, because the platypus, of course, is not a part of this. What was I talking about? Oh, right, of course. 2 Rex Reaper into a natural base has been quite common here for Cure. Cure has even been mixing in 3 Rex Reaper as well, which is really surprising to me in recent weeks and maybe 3 weeks. We have been seeing a lot of 3 Rex Reaper out of Cure as well. This time it's going to be a much more standard opener. That's why I bring it up, just because he has been a little more assertive, a little bit more aggressive with his opener. This time, something a little bit more standard, a little bit more tame and by the book here, as Cure, I'm sure, just wants to feel out his opponent, wants to feel out the kind of player that Dark is going to be today. Again, Dark, there are many different faces, many different facets of Dark. Usually aggressive, he's very roach heavy at times, at other times he's very much so willing to go into Ling Bane and straight into Ultra as well, especially on larger maps if you can get away with it. So I'm talking about maps like Algione, sometimes Side Delta can also be akin to that. Meanwhile, the first Reaper has arrived. We're going to be threading that mineral line, but alas, we are going to be zoned away. We do get a kill on one of those Lings. Very nice pick up here from Cure. We get one Ling, we get a second Ling as well. Oh my god. Not too bad here, as Cure's going to back off. He does check, he does confirm the location of that third base. Meanwhile, behind this, he's going for a third CC before Starport. So we get a very standard, very economic opener so far out of Cure. Nothing too crazy. This should be leading into an add-on swap. Not just the reactor on the factory, but also a tech lab on the racks into a Banshee opener. That would make the most sense, especially against Dark. I bring this up very often, but I do think it's a very wise opener against Dark, just because he is so prone to opening and playing roaches. In saying that, Dark is also so quick to recognize a more economic opener and try to punish it with Link Queen Nidus. So we're quite fond of that as well. So you have to be on your toes when it comes to scouting, when it comes to recognizing what Dark is up to. Meanwhile, there's a tech lab, there's a starport. We should be getting an add-on swap into Banshee play. Meanwhile, Helium production is well underway here for Cure, and Dark, he's just establishing his base. It's just droning, spreading creep, making queens, and really, yeah, just spreading himself here between his natural, his third, and his main. His goal is to try to get a read on the opener itself. Looking at Dark's vision, he hasn't been able to see too much. He did see the reactor on the factory, so he should be aware of the 1-1-1 variation. Lings dip in, Hellions are soon to be revealed, and yo, we gotta back up. I was like, are we gonna try and dive on the Hellion? No. We gotta back up from here. Gotta respect the positioning of Cure. And there's that add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. So again, very economic and very meta opener here from Cure. Nothing too wild, no major deviation, not yet from our Terran player. Likewise, Dark is just droning up, again spreading his creep, positioning his queens as well here towards the north and towards the center base as well. Shout out to the platypus. Unrelated to this tournament, but one of our own events. It's so beautiful. I love it. As Helen's going to be threatening a dive here in between the bases. Again, the goal here is for the Banshees to maybe pick up some workers in one base, then the Hellions can gain entry into another. But now that we're keeping up, we're going for a lair behind this. So this looks like, again, a very standard open out of Dark. Should be lair into a Bailey nest. This is delayed 1-1 upgrades. So usually when we see a Zerg player going up against an economic opener, we see a lot of Zerg players going to faster Evo chambers for faster 1-1. We can see the Dark is actually not cutting any corners. Ooh, throwing down a second Bailey nest. A bit of a misstep there from Dark. Hopefully he realizes what's going on. But yeah, just really safe play here from Dark. He's not risking like rushing into upgrades or cutting any corners. Just very standard stuff here. With this safety Bailey nest, in case there's like a Hellbat push or something along those lines, he should be safe. That's really the only purpose for this, outside of going into and prioritizing bailing speed. As soon as the bailing nest finishes, we can start up bailing speed as soon as possible. Meanwhile, here we go. The Banshees have now hit the field. We got two of them threatening the third, and we have the Hellions in the center of the map. Not too many Hellions looking at the units tabs, only 6 Hellions, so we can't really threaten too much. The Banshees are going to get in. 2 Banshees do one-shot workers, so there is a lot of potential here as the bailing nest. Oh, the second one did finish, unfortunately. Banshees get in, they get 2 worker kills. Sorry, 4. We saw 2 go down, but 4 kills in total. Pretty good stuff, especially considering that the Banshees barely took any damage. We can dip away, we can rotate around, and threaten another base. Threaten more drones. So far, really good start. Behind this, we're establishing our third base. It's getting up and running. Meanwhile, there's that infestation bit. This is a really fast pit here from Dark, and this almost looks like Lingbane into Ultra. We spoke about it about it before. We have seen Dark go Lingbane Ultra on those large maps like Alkione, Raza Station, the few times that we see him there. I do think that Side Delta is along those lines of a larger map. It is a very wide map, very long. The bases are very spread out, and because it's so open, especially in the center of the map, once you knock down these rocks, Ultras, they can be pretty ideal here. They can really thrive on a map like Side Delta. An open map, I should say. Meanwhile, drop lords are upon us. Yo, we got a lane drop into the main base here. At the same time, Kira is focusing on his push. We've hit the 7-minute mark. Our first tank push should be upon us here. We got Marines, we got Hellions, we got Stim at 1-1 on the way. Combat shields in production. As Kira goes for his timing, goes for his push, we do see Bailey's going in. No! Oh my god, 7, 8 SCVs go down, and we're not done, by the way, because Lings do slip into the main base as well, just as Cure pushes. A very nice timing here from Dark, again, fully aware that at 7 minutes, the army is going to be moving out, and we abuse that. 10 SCVs go down. Burrow isn't done yet, so these Lings are going to be cleaned up. At the same time, another big counterattack. At the same time, does Dark have enough to defend? Oh, Dark is going to back off. We could totally go for that mineral line. The army's out of position, but no, Dark is going to back off. He's getting in position. We have Lings, we have Bailings, but Cure, really good tanks here behind this, but only a handful of Hellbats. It's a handful, 6 Hellbats in total. Can Dark dive into this with the Hellbats in position? Looks like we cannot. Queens are in the main base. The double jump into the main is going to be deflected. Far too many Queens to deal with. Plenty of transfuse as well. Oh, ooh, 1 high NG Queen goes down. A bit of a misstep there from Dark. But he will clean up the drop in the main. At the same time, we evacuate all those workers. We may lose the hatchery, but Dark, he's going for another counterattack. Again, he's giving up a base, but he's saving his workers. Meanwhile, he's getting across the map to try to punish the economy of Cure. Get on top of Marines. Good trades here, forcing some tank-friendly fire as well. Take down the depot. The hatchery has gone down. Dark really respecting this position. This is something very, I don't want to say unique to Cure, but Cure is very fond of this, is saving his Hellions for those Hellbats for that 7-minute push. A lot of Terran players actually throw away these Hellions earlier on, but I love that Dark does incorporate them here, just to protect these tanks and make it that much more difficult to engage. After we saw the Hellbats, then Dark, he backed off. He knew that he could not break this location. So again, really nice adaptation here, very unique to Cure, and hey, if you're a Terran player out there, I recommend it. Do recommend kind of incorporating these Hellbats here. Not saying that Cure is the only one that does this, Maru does it as well every now and then, but Cure is like very consistent with it, I should say. Meanwhile, Lings, they go for a big counterattack. They get a couple of depots, not too much else as the Lings are forced back. Once again, I think they could have maybe gone into that mineral line, but the Banshees are going to sway them, or they're going to force them back. Lings will retreat. Meanwhile, we spoke about it, Lingbane into Ultra. The Ultra Cavern is on the way. Now, the downside to this kind of style of Dark, we speak about this all the time, the lack of anti-air. There's no Hydras, there's no Vipers, there's no Spire, there's no Mutas. Oh, I say that. Vipers have arrived. But until the Vipers, like, there's nothing to really shut down drop play, and that can be very effective. This is what we have to rely on for DPS, for anti-air, is power bombs. Like, that's really all we have, other than Queens, of course, defensively. And one power bomb isn't enough to kill a medevac. So that's all we have to really, that's all we can rely on here for Dark. So it can be a little bit risky, but here we go. Bailey's going to be rolling on in, and they will crash into the middle line. Up! Yeah, they bust through the Marines, they get into the SCVs, and 14, 15, 16, and oh, I have so many more. 18 SCVs go down here. An amazing counterattack by Dark, and Cure out of position here. His Marines were not quite in weren't quite in position. His army, of course, out on the map. And Dark getting ready for another counterattack. Banshees have come across this. Cure is rotating towards the north, and once again he's going to be threatening this northern base here. So far these pushes have been effective, but now he has to deal with and contend with Vipers. Vipers, they don't just have parasitic bombs, they have those blinding clouds as well. There we go, they go for a power bombs on the medevacs at the same time. We've got a Marine push here towards the south, and we're going to be able to keep up for the most part. Ooh, but pure Lings against Marines, you do not like to see that. We scan, we see the Bailings. Dark being a little bit wasteful here. A lot of Lings have been falling. Meanwhile, here comes that main push, but are we looking? Big Bailey connections on the Hellbats. The Hellbats, they finally go down. The tanks a little bit too far back. They're not quite threading that hatchery yet. Queens are coming forward. The Vipers, they are full of energy once again. Looking for power bombs, looking for blinding clouds. They will connect. Another power bomb here on those medevacs at the same time. The pure Marine army getting on top of those Marines does clean it up. The upgrades are coming in strong here. 3-3s on the way. We have Adrenal as well, more importantly, and here comes that Ultra. Only one Ultra, so it's not ideal, but we do collapse on this position. Tanks are going to be going down. The Marines are forced back, and the power bombs, they take down the medevacs. One does survive, but a good cleanup here from Dark. Meanwhile, he's on 80 workers. He's on 5 hatcheries at this point, and yeah, losing this position here was brutal for Cure. He's going to be focusing his attention here towards the south, but he already lost a big portion of his army as well. And we'll see if he can slip in. Again, only a handful of Baneys to defend. Dark, it's his turn to be a little bit out of position. Doesn't have too much at home here to fend this off, but he's forcing Cure to turn around. Uh-oh. Forces the entire army to turn back around. We get one SCV, we get a depot, but more importantly, we keep the attention of Cure back at home. And Dark, he is buying time. Time he desperately needs. Dark, he's got a decent economy, but he has to regenerate energy on these Vipers, and he needs to build up Ultras. Ultras, they take a long time to build. There we go, we have 3 Ultras on the way alongside 3-3. We do have a Mind Drop. The 12-minute Mind Drop. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. It's going to be heading towards this 4th base, sorry, the 5th base even of Dark. And will Dark react in time? We got another Banshee. I mean, the Banshee is still alive from the early game. Going to be harassing the south. Mind Drop avoids the 5th, and we're going straight for the 3rd. So far, the drones do pull away in time. Overlord goes down. Additional Mind Shot's going to be going off, but again, good reactions out of Dark. He does minimize his losses, takes a shot to the face on the Ultra, but is going to clean this up. And now Dark, he can focus on his main push. He's dealt with the Winter Mines. Well, Bailey's a little bit ambitious there from Dark to morph him into the center of the map. Cure, he's on the cusp of maxing out. Cure is super max, actually. The lower worker count, big power bombs. Oh my god, the Wintermine shots. Big connections on the Ling main. And the Wintermine survived as well. There's one Wintermine with 20 kills, but at the same time, another big Ling counterattack. We don't really get too many SCV kills when we get the base. That should not have happened. The orbital does go down. And those Wintermines that survived earlier, not anymore. At least 3 of them. The other 3 will survive. We can see Dark getting ready for another lane counterattack. We've got Lings burrowed everywhere towards the north, towards the center. And again, we're just amassing more ultras. This time, not just pure ultra, but also with Infestor. That's a big thing that's missing here, especially with a very heavily melee-focused army. We need those fungals to just lock down the army. To be able to close the distance and get on top of Kyor. Meanwhile, Kyor going to be pushing towards the north. Does come across the 6th hatchery here of Dark, and he should be able to bring it down. Dark, he wants to engage, he wants to try to save it. Oh! Ooh. Decent mind connections here on the Lings. At the same time, the Ultra counterattack on the Planetary. 4 Ultras rock up. Repair not going to be enough, and this Planetary is going to be going down. We trade a base for a base, but this 4th base was so much more valuable to Kyor. Dark, he can afford to lose the 6th hatchery. Another power bomb here onto that medevac. Again, we've almost exclusively used these Vipers for power bombs. There we go. A couple of Blinding Clouds are thrown down as well. Big fungals on what little is left of the army. And it looks like Dark is going to clean this up. We have the mine shots being wasted here on the detection. At the same time, 28 SCVs go down. GG gets called, and Dark is able to take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark pulling Kyor apart there, left and right. Able to snipe bases, snipe or get into the mineral lines time and time again with his Lings and his Baylings. What I love there that we got to see as well, that we got to experience, is that Dark, he is so fond of burrowing Lings whenever he harasses. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's a relatively new, I'd say relatively new thing, like maybe the past year. Dark has been very adamant about whenever he harasses with Lings and Baylings to burrow a handful of them whenever he can, forcing out some scans, ideally having the Terran player just miss it as well and not be fully aware of what did occur and who did burrow. And yeah, really solid performance there out of Dark. Very well done. Again, this was a pretty standard straight-up game out of Kyor, and remember, his first push was quite successful. Like, his first 7-minute push killed the base. But if you remember as well, Dark, he was so ready to take advantage of that push, right? Because if you remember, it was during that first 7-minute push with the tanks and the Hellbats where Dark, he got into the main base with a Ling counterattack, with a Bailing run by as well. Just a very well-timed and very well-timed counterattack from Dark, run by even. And yeah, it did just take advantage of Kyor. It did make it that his push wasn't fully worth it in the end either, just because he had taken so many economic losses. And yeah, Dark, he was all over it. All over it. GG. GG, well played. With that, Dark will take a lead in this series. And I'm going to pass it over to Pass Light and Pass Yaku for game number 2 and onwards for the rest of this best of 5 grand final. So yeah, with that, it was a lot of fun to catch up. And again, to reiterate, I did, as you saw at the start of that game, did lag out live at the time from game 1. So I'm going to be just recording this a couple of days ahead of time, just so I can add this to the YouTube VOD and make this a more complete series. I'm going to try and do this more frequently. In the past, whenever I would lag out, I'll just upload the VOD incomplete, essentially, without those games. But I'll try and do a better job here, just, you know, restructuring and just finding some time to record and, of course, render the VODs together and, yeah, make it a little bit better for YouTube. Big reason for that is because we have been growing on YouTube and we're getting more viewers and we're getting more fans. And yeah, we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Otherwise, again, pass it over to our lovely co-casters. See you then. See you then.
As we spawn on to game number 2 here, this time we are going to be spawning into Okenbjorn. We're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing his team, Dragon Kaizi Gaming, DKG. We have Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Team Liquid down in this series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of opportunity to come back. It is Kyor.
Not choosing violence this time, or at least in game number 1, not choosing violence. We had a bit more of an economic game going on, but Dark did just feel a few steps ahead each and every time. whenever Cure pushed out, whenever he was taking out a base or whatever, it was far too little, far too late in game 1.
Here we go, and yeah, it was just far too little too late. And we have a pretty interesting opener. It's going to be a 2x Reaper here from Cure, just to kick things off. And Cure has, oh, it's a 3. Let's go. He's going full beyond, Poppy. Let's go.
That's all we wanted to see. This is the quintessential Beyond build.
Yes, exactly. So it's not a 2x, it's gonna be a 3x. This is 3x Master Reaper. Now this is not all in. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Not an all in. You can expand behind this, but still very committed. The goal here is to contain Dark to 2 bases. Hopefully try to lure Dark into expanding as well, just shut down and punish that third, and also potentially even getting some worker kills as well, and trading well overall with the army of Dark.
Yeah, trading well against the army is nice, getting a couple of worker kills is good, but like you said, priority number 1 is to just contain Dark for as long as possible. Make sure that you always have the map control, and then just try to starve him out so that by the time you do come in with your follow-up push, your Zerg opponent won't really be able to muster up enough of a defense.
Exactly, as our Reaper is going to be dipping in towards that natural base. We do manage to get 1 Ling kill so far, just a single Ling, as additional Reapers are in production as well so far. Dark, his queen does come out just in time, and up.
And a little double juggle here on top of the queen. 1 Reaper almost goes down, but no, not quite. Tumors looking exposed.
And tumors are being thrown down. You can see Dark, oh, he's being lured out actually. Dark, he wants to try to save this base. If he does push too far off of creep, then Cure will punish him. Dark now realizes what's going on. He sees a 3rd Max, and he should be more than willing to just give up on that 3rd base as we're trying to go for the queens.
Yeah, Cure needs to be careful not to overextend. Dark has a lot of Lings, and there's a lot of surround potential, even without Ling speed. When you're on creep, these Lings are speedy boys. 14 more Lings are on the way, by the way.
Yeah, and Ling speed is about to finish up here. Dark, he can try to get us around here. He's going to be able to save his base. The base got very low, but Cure Heal's spending a lot of time here at the natural trying to kill the queen. That was a lot of wasted DPS, not on the hatchery, and the hatchery does finish.
Just like so. Now Dark gonna try to go for a bit of a counter harass. See how that goes. And that's a lot of Reapers.
Is a lot of Reapers. Dark is trying to find us around here, and it looks like he's going to be able to trap these Reapers in the corner of the map. There is no way in. Oh no! They barely escaped. They're slipping through.
Oh. MKD8 charges. Well, I mean, you didn't need to use them to escape, but yeah, those KD8 charges is something you never want to underestimate as a Zerg player. Dark is taking the Reaper threat very, very seriously, so he doesn't want to lose his Lings unnecessarily and then have no defense against the against this.
Exactly, as Reapers, they dip in and out, and they're going to be able to pick off a couple more lanes, pick off a creep tumor. Behind this, Cure is transitioning. He's getting into his natural base, getting into his 3-1-1 setup with Marines, with Stim on the way with +1. Cure is behind, I would say, though. He just didn't get enough damage done. He traded with Lings, didn't get any queens, didn't get any workers, and he did not deny the 3rd.
Yeah, Dark is going to be pretty safe from here on out. Cure still going for it, still sending out a little force of Marines to try to reinforce these Reapers. He knows that he needs to get a bit more damage done, but the opportunities to get that damage are quickly disappearing.
Exactly, as we do shut down one of those overlords as well. The Lings, they do come in from behind. They pick off a couple of Marines as Cure does rotate here towards the south, but alas, because there's so many queens and Lings, we just cannot find a way in. Cure cannot touch this base. He has to back off and work on that next step, work on his stim timing with +1 with Medivacs.
Which honestly, considering how on top of his Marine production he's been, can still be very devastating to Dark. Dark is still on basically a pure Ling army. So there are a couple of queens back at home for defense, but that's not really what you want to support your Lings.
Yeah, I mean, he does catch a couple of Marines out in the center of the map, but as you mentioned, this is still going to be a pretty terrifying push, especially with these medivacs to support the army to facilitate for some more stims. We still need additional links on the way. Evo Chambers just now in production as well for 1-1, so Darky's going to be delaying his Baneling production and his lair as well in favor of 1-1 upgrades. Bit of a greedy maneuver here. We'll see if Dark can get away with it, as Cure is going to be pushing. Dark there still has a good queen count.
He does, actually. With good enough transfuses. Dark should be able to chase us back as well, but it's also very dependent on the positioning. Link's coming in for the flank, and this army gets completely surrounded. Stim is still devastating, but all these queens, they target down the medevacs. The Marines are able to deal with all the Lings, but not with the queens.
Yeah, exactly. We shut down one of those medics. We forced back the army. Curie sending reinforcements, even sending his tank across the map. He's doubling down. We have 2 more Rexes on the way. I do not see a third TC. This is looking like a 2-base all-in. We could still throw down the third, but again, this is still very committed for Cure.
We're bricking.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, God. As here we go. We're going to be rotating over towards the 4th base. 4th, not quite done yet. Not a lot of creep in position either. Cure, he could try to force a cancel.
Which is exactly what he's trying to do. Baneling Nest is on the way here for Dark, almost about to finish up, but Banelings will not be available for this push in particular.
Oh, exactly. As there it is. We force a cancel on the 4th base. Cure going to be gaining some ground, pushing forward with his tank. A very nice attack here from Cure.
Yeah, and I was going to say, that Baneling Nest is actually looking pretty exposed.
It is. If Cure does edge ever closer, he could maybe try to get on top of that, but for now, he's going to be respecting the army. He's going to just back the hell off, take his win while he can, and reinforce back at home. Again, still no third TC, by the way. Still very committed play here from Cure, and the longer this goes on, it's going to become harder and harder. 1-1 about to kick in for Dark, and Baneling speed is on the way.
Indeed, it is. With tanks, though, this is exactly what you want as a Terran player, as Cure. But as you mentioned, as the game continues, this is going to get better and better for Dark. Taking out that 4th base was not enough here for Cure. If he had a third of his own on the way, then that's totally fine. He could go back home, he could focus on macroing up, but he doesn't have that third, so he doesn't have that option available.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's all or nothing here for Cure. At this point, it's all in. He's 2-base all in, and he is getting within range of that Baneling Nest, actually. As you mentioned, is Baneling Speed going to be able to finish up?
It should. We shall see. Cure still needs vision on that Baneling Nest. Baneling Nest is so close. Baneling Speed is about to finish up, and it will in fact finish thanks to some clutch transfusions from these queens. A lot of Marines go down as well.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the transfuse, this Baneling Nest would have died much earlier. It will still go down. Backup Baneling Nest is on the way. What you see is what you get when it comes to the Banelings of Dark. He still has plenty, though, and I don't think Cure can actually push forward onto this base. The queens, they hold the line. Dark going to be double expanding, taking a 4th and a 5th base at the same time, even going for a counterattack. He's looking for a third that does not exist.
Vanishing third, if you will. Chasing a myth.
Yeah, as the tanks are even within range of the hatchery. The hatchery goes down. Pretty good damage here from Curie. Shuts down one base, shuts down another, going for a drop into the main. Dark trying to get in position, but he's only got a handful of links. His reinforcements still on the way.
Yeah, but Cure not liking his chances, especially since, you know, that main base is out of range of tank support. Well, tanks, they got a lot of range. They can take out this third base. They can't quite dip into the main, though.
Not quite, not yet here, as we have some Liberators queued up to head towards some of these fresh mining bases of Dark. Queens are in position, drop into the main base. Cure being as annoying as possible, he is paying attention, does pull back, and here come the Freedom Zones, here come those Liberators as well. By the way, still no third, we just had to point that out. Yeah. Cure actually has a supply lead, army supply lead.
He does. Well, that's the supply that's important.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's a lot of tanks, a lot of Marines. We're up to 6 tanks at this point as Cure is pushing across the map. Dark, he's not out of the woods yet. He is amassing a Lingbane army. He's working towards a hive, but there's not a lot of creep out here. Ooh, Banelings are going to be going off. Decent connection. Oh.
Yeah, chunk of Marines do get taken out. Now the army supplies are looking pretty dang even.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see Dark going to be engaging. He does come across some of these tanks, but alas, a little bit too late. The skin!
Oh, that wasn't meant to detect the banelings, but it inadvertently did.
It did. Meanwhile, only one tank is sieged, by the way. The other tanks
do get completely caught. Cure, his attention was elsewhere for just a split second, and Dark 100% pounced on him.
Yeah, exactly. And with the death of those tanks, that was the backbone of the army. We still have a couple of tanks here towards the south, but barely an army to really support it here. And Dark, he could try to collapse on this. Really good SimCity or really good terrain usage here, reducing some of the surface area. So it's going to be difficult to deal with this without Hydras or without range. But there we go. Vipers are on the way. Ultra Cavern as well. Dark getting further ahead. He's going for a big counterattack. He could even try to break through into the natural.
Yes, but now Cure has a third base.
Oh, he does. He has a third base, Copium. He's not all in. As the third is now being taken, he's still stuck on 44 workers. Are heavily oversaturated. He needs to mine here and now. Needs to get this base up and running. Meanwhile, there is a borrowed Ling in position. Dark, he sees the attempted third.
Yeah, he knows that the worst is over. He can take a little bit of time to get his upgrades, to get his I was gonna say to get his ultras, but Dark is actually maxed out right now, so eventually get a much more high-tech army. He's actually working his way onto +3 melee already. Cure's still struggling to get 2-2.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see Dark engaging with the army just as Cure was unsieging, but thankfully Cure does hold on. Dark backs off in the end. We do see some drop play moving out here, and as Cure moves out, Dark, he's moving in.
Oh, wall does raise up just in time, but Dark, he doesn't care. He's gonna bust down that wall. He's gonna connect with every single SCV in this third base location.
Yeah, we even have links on top of the tanks. We have forward Bailey's here at the choke point as well. No!
Oh.
Ah!
Set off. It's gonna go off. It's gonna go off. Okay, no point.
Oh my god, there was so much potential there. Meanwhile, Cure is focusing on his push. Dark focusing on the attack as well. I don't blame him, but GG's getting called. Cure, he runs out of steam, and Dark will take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, runs out of steam and runs out of every single SCV in that natural and main base. GG. Nicely done here for Dark. Very aggressive play coming out from Cure once again. Again, there were a couple of moments where things could have gone very, very wrong for Dark if he faltered even for just a second. If he didn't have his queens in position, if he suicided his lings just a second too early, everything could have gone wrong. Cure with his Stim Marines would have been able to steamroll through him, but Dark was always able to take that one step back, take a little bit of an overview on top of the map, and recognize, hey, I just need to defend. Or going for a 2-base all-in, I just need to defend.
Exactly, just need to defend, just need to hold on and survive, and he did more than that. He exceeded that, and now Dark, he's got a 2-0 lead. This could be the final game of the series. Dark, he needs one more Uno Mas to advance on or to become this week's ESL Open Cup Asia champion. Cure, he needs to win this game here to fight back to make a series out of this.
Indeed, he does. This is where the reverse sweep comes in, and this is where Liquid gives him his stripes.
Exactly. This is where he needs to pop off here and now. As we load into game number 3, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is Dark.
I like that you took control there of naming the map. You didn't want to hear what I thought it was. Anyway, here we are in the top left-hand corner, swatting all the way to the top left-hand corner of the map. We have our blue Terran player coming over the land of Korea, representing Team Liquid in a lot of trouble up against the ropes. We have Cure.
How do you pronounce this map in the brain?
I thought
okay.
It was Jolde Naura.
Jolde Naura. Oh.
Naura.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can
like
see
the Final Fantasy race.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
Yeah. And the no, not Vieira.
No, yeah, you got it, Vieira. Yeah, that's the bunnies.
Yeah.
The bunny people.
Yeah.
I like how that's something that's stuck
The
in your
dragon
brain.
people. Oh, those were the races that were in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Oh, true. Yeah. Fun fact: that was the first
The
time.
one Final Fantasy I completed.
That was the first time that the Vieira were introduced. Is tactics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
I had Final Fantasy IV as a kid, but I could never beat the death wall.
The death wall.
Yeah.
Is that the wall that's coming right at you?
It is actually.
Yeah.
So you have a time limit.
You have a time limit. Yeah.
You have to beat it in a certain time.
Beat the wall. The Mauer.
Yeah.
You meant Showtime when you.
Mauer. I did. You always beat me down. Said one day I'm gonna bust you. And then I never did.
Yeah, we haven't reached that day yet.
I still haven't.
It's coming. It's coming. Let me tell you. As for now, we're getting into our openers here. Dark going for a hatch gas pool, standard opener on Golden Aura, and Dark has been known to be a little bit greedy on this map, but is not the case here. Just a standard opener. We do see Cure being a little bit annoying, delaying that third base for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Dark he ignores the Reaper, going across the map with those links.
May as well. Sigil Reaper isn't really indicative of too much, so if you're Dark right now, you do want to prioritize going across the map and getting a sense of what your opponent is going for. Like we just saw, because Kyo was so focused on trying to take out that extractor, he wasn't really able to block the second drone coming in to get that hatchery.
Oh yeah. And the hatchery is going to get up and running. We do see Lings dip in. We do confirm the Marines. And as I die for a moment there, we have our follow-up. It is going to be a third CC4 starport.
There we go. Very similar to game number 2 earlier on.
Number 3.
But no, this is number 3.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah, this is number 3.
Yeah. So number 1. Yeah.
Wait, what?
This is game number 2.
Wait, what did we have?
It's fine.
Wait, what is a number?
What are numbers really? You know, really they're just figments of your imagination, you know?
Exactly. You know, they're just shapes.
Yeah.
You know?
What shape is
that
number
we
3?
decided have meaning.
Uh-huh.
It's like you know. Not sure. I'm not sure if I might pick that up.
Yeah. What was that? We didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
I don't know.
Okay,
Something fell next door. Might have been my neighbor that fell.
They were hearing this conversation and they just got knocked out.
Couldn't keep up.
Couldn't keep up, mate. As we're getting into this, it's going to be 3CC Banshee. Very standard opener here from Cure. Nothing out of the norm. On the other side, Dark is going to be going for a lair first. So very safe opener from Dark as well. With this faster lair, unlike the previous game, he's going to be delaying his Evo chambers and going into a faster Baneling nest, into faster Baneling speed, just to be a little bit more safe and secure. I'm assuming that, but we are getting up to 3 gases.
We don't have that 4th gas just yet, so we're gonna have to keep our eyes on what Dark is aiming to do. 4th base is on the way though, so if he is looking to go into 3 Hachimuta, I mean he's already broke one. He's already broke one component of that.
Yeah, I mean he already can't. He doesn't know.
He can.
He doesn't know how to 3 hatch Muta.
That's a 4th hatch, you know. He doesn't have the numbers.
There you go. He doesn't have the
Doesn't understand numbers.
Has the Baneling nest is thrown down, and now we can invest into our Evo chamber. So again, it's just going to be Ling Bane, similar to the last game, but again, just delayed upgrades and a prioritization of Baneling speed, just to be safe and secure. Meanwhile, Cure is just getting up into his own setup here as well on 3 bases.
Yeah. A lot more economic coming out here from Cure. Dark, okay. We have confirmation of what that lair is for. Infestation Pit, as Cure is trying to shock around with these Banshees. Not quite finding anything just yet. Gonna be able to pick off a couple of tumors.
does get a couple of tumors before being forced out. Meanwhile, Dark, he has recognized that this was 360 Banshee, so he knows it's a really economic opener. He knows he's safe, so he takes up very greedily, as you mentioned, into that infestation pit, into a fast Hive, for fast Adrenal, for fast Vipers as well. Baneling speed on the way at the same time as the Hive. That's how fast the Hive is. So Dark getting away with a lot of greed.
Yep, he did say that he likes going greedy on this map, and he might not have opened greedy, but the greed is here.
It is, as we're taking up even further. Hydra then is on the way, so Ling, Bane, Hydra, Viper should be the composition of choice for Dark. Cure is finally going to be moving out. This is going to be a timing with Stim and Combat Shields. 1-1 still on the horizon for our blue Terran player, but he's going to have a couple of tanks with this. Like, this is not an army to be scoffed at. It's, yeah, I got to respect it.
I gotta absolutely respect it, especially with how heavily Dark is taking up. Hydra Den did finish up. I'm waiting for the Lurker Den to get thrown down.
Ooh, waiting for them Lunkers. Meanwhile, the tanks are getting in position. They have the high ground here outside of the fourth base. Meanwhile, Dark getting ready for his own surround as well. He's got Ling Bane towards the north. He's got Ling Bane here towards the south. The Queen's going to be buying some time, and we are waiting to pull the trigger.
Yeah, waiting for the right moment. A couple of Hellbats did finish up here from Cure. Very curiously, I mean, it is something that Cure does like to do, but yeah, Cure typically tends to not use his Hellions early on for harass. Instead, he just makes them and keeps them for Hellbats. One tank will go down. Hellbats doing the best they can, but this push has been beaten back for the time being.
Yeah,
actually, still insanely low.
Unlike on Gressvan, there's no like secure position for your Hellbats to get like some good surface area surrounding those tanks, so the tanks do get cleaned up. As you mentioned, the base barely does survive, but it is very vulnerable. At any moment, Curie could come in with this double drop and get a kill on that hatchery. Meanwhile, we have a double drop here towards the right hand side as well. Good target firing here out of Cure.
Yeah, a lot of Banelings going down. Most of these Marines staying alive as well. Dreidel Vance is now on the way. Dark is investing into his Hydras right now. Don't think he's thrown out the Lurker Den. He has not thrown out the Lurker Den. This is, in fact, going to be Ling Bane Hydra.
Yeah, just Ling Bane Hydra for the time being. We have Adrenal, so we are making use of that Hive. I imagine Vipers soon as well, but for now, here we go. Dark is going to have to try to split up his army. The mine does get baited out. Good drag here from Dark, avoiding disaster, and he does deflect the drop for now.
For the time being. I guess Banshee's still doing cleanup duty.
Exactly, as we have a double jump here towards the south. As you mentioned, Banshee's doing whatever they can to clean up as much creep as possible, but what's scary is that Dark, his economy has been left untouched, and he's grown up to 80 at this point. He has the ideal worker count he needs, and now he can just focus on his army.
Which is exactly what we're seeing right now. Dark making a couple of Hydras. Now he can actually chase down these... Medivacs. Medivacs, by the way, were not in position for that hot pickup. A lot of Marines going to go down. A lot of Lings get traded out as well, though, to be fair.
Oh, exactly. So we do have a double jump into the main, though. We kill the Queen. We're getting into the middle line. Drones are going down. Can we go for the spawning pool? Go.
Well, we can, but not before Adrenal Vance finishes up. Cure taking a very efficient trade here against all of these Zerglings, but in the end, still hasn't done anything to really impact Dark's economy or tech or anything as the Lurker Den gets thrown down.
There we go. Now that Dark has deflected all these drops, he knows he's safe enough to throw down the Lurker Den. As I say that, though, Cure, he's pushing right through the left-hand side of the map. A lot of Widow Mines are being set up. No tanks with this, just bio mines. So Dark, he can take his time when it comes to engaging. The hatchery is still up and running, but he has to be careful here with those Widow Mines.
Very, very careful, especially as they are being a little bit hidden by the massive Marine count. Dark, we did mention that his economy is up and running. He's on an 80 worker count, but Cure is still in a very respectable 77 SCV count. Just about landed his fourth base as well, so Cure can absolutely still keep up with the fights and with the production of Dark.
Yeah, I mean, both players are maxed out, as you were saying. Meanwhile, it looks like this medevac is going to be forced back. Anti-air not quite there in time. Mine shots don't go off yet. Dark still just keeping up with the movement of his opponent. 3-3 on the way for both players. And Dark actually going for a counterattack instead. He's had enough defending. He wants to try to force a Cure on the back foot.
Yeah, wants to try, but doesn't really get an opening. Finally, that hatch goes down.
Killing the hatchery here. Dark's economy is going to be impacted by this, and he still just cannot engage. Not really feeling confident engaging into these minefields, and yeah, Curie's doing well for himself.
Very, very well. Kind of got Dark at a bit of a pseudo-contain. It's got eyes on pretty much the entirety of the Zerg army. To be fair, the map, like Golden Aura, or Golden Aura, as I like to call it, in honor of New South Wales, there aren't that many open spaces. You know, once you are able to control 2 openings, there's not a whole lot for your opponent to really maneuver around. A lot of friendly fire with that earlier Widow Mine. Full medevac goes down.
Full medevac goes down. Meanwhile, these mine shots, they're not the best here as Cure gets cleaned up on the right-hand side. A much better fight from Dark. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, it looks like we force back those medevacs as well. And finally, Dark, he does take control of the map. Finally, he can regain control of his base. No, the medevac, it does fly into those hydras as well. And Cure is being forced back.
Yeah, Dark has a little bit of momentum going his way. Not quite enough to really break through this planetary, but enough now to keep Cure on the back foot.
Yeah, it's a lot of CCs.
Wait for the Lunkers.
Yeah, the Lunkers is still on the way. Bailey's going to be rolling on into a choke point, though. Not the best engage here from Dark, but he's going for the planetary.
Planetary will go down. There is the CC ready to float over and take its place. A couple of SCVs go down, but at this point, I think Cure doesn't mind losing a couple of SCVs if it means that he can get a bit larger army supply. Concussive Shells really coming in clutch, preventing these Banelings from connecting with anything.
Oh, exactly. But here we go. We have Ling reinforcements to get us around, and it looks like we're looking to deny this base once again. Sure was able to land, but not able to get up and running. Widowmine shot's going to be going off and up. Does get baited out. No big connections yet here in Dark. It doesn't quite get on top of the army.
Not quite. Look, our upgrades are on the way. The CC is in a lot of trouble. Command Center, that's what CC stands for.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Yaku. You're not wrong. Let's go. Oh my god, as we are going to be moving out. We need a Yaku learning stream. That's what we need. Like
we do.
Learning StarCraft vernacular. Yes, yeah. Yes, exactly.
It'll be like Sesame Street.
But with deadlings.
Yeah, deadlings and explosions.
For now, Cure, he's going to be able to retake control of this base. He's on a solid 5-base economy here. This top right-hand base has been left untouched. Hasn't been able to do much about it.
Yeah, that he has. Nidus has just finished up.
Ooh, Nidus is done. The Lunkers are finally here.
They are. They're not fully upgraded yet, but soon they shall be. They do have their range upgrade already, and now we're waiting for adaptive talents for speed. Burrow.
Yeah, we have completely cut off Cure from his own base. This 5th base is going to be going down. Every single worker as well. Meanwhile, Lurkers are in position within range here of the 3rd. Dark popping up, but at the same time, we had a drop moving out, but alas, Cure not able to accomplish much with it.
Absolutely brilliant zoning coming out here from Dark. A couple of mines not quite able to connect to Dark. No, just setting up his Nidus networks and trying to make sure that he has an easier time maneuvering around these bases and reinforcing his army. An entire mineral line goes down once again. That's a lot of orbital.
That is me. Well, the mines, we do have some mine drops across the map. We are dealing some kind of counter damage, but here come those Lunkers. They're trying to get on top of the Ghost here. The tank is going to be going down. The Lurkers, they do leapfrog forward as well. No Vipers. These Lurkers are looking a little bit exposed, but Dark, he does not turn around. He wants to keep pushing.
Yeah, they're looking exposed, but we do have, funnily enough, we have a bit of a Baneling buffer here for these Lurkers. This bio army is gonna hurt one way or another.
Oh, here we go. A couple of snipes gonna be coming in. 1, 2, 3 Lurkers going down, and here we go. We pull the trigger.
Yeah, pretty good snipes here from Cure. Dark being chased back all the way back. Damage was dealt. A lot of damage was dealt, but Dark really cannot afford to really lose his army right now. It's a very high-tech. It's a very high-tech army that takes quite a while to really get up and running with these Lurkers anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, another Lurker is going to be going down. Another 2 Lurkers go down as well, but we catch the Ghosts.
Yeah, right in the middle of the map. Not enough medevacs to hot pick up everyone.
Yeah, Exactly. We do have some Widow Mines that are going to be borrowing decent connections here on the Lings as well, but only on the Lings. As we did shut down the Ghost earlier, we're going straight for one of these fresh mining bases here. It's going to be denied.
Yeah, forced to cancel and lift once again. 0 SCVs available to really mine from that. And Dark, he's not going to let that slide.
Gonna let that slide here as he's just remaxing more Ling Bane, just ignoring his own lore because the Ghost to be left behind.
And they will get taken out by Bailings. There are still a couple of ghosts left, but you really need a lot of them if you want to deal against the lurkers. Scratch that, there are 0 ghosts left.
Yeah.
And you really need at least some of them to deal with the lurkers.
That was 11 dead ghosts here. Dark, he was able to catch his opponent off guard. Cure was not able to pick up. He kept his Medivacs alive, but nothing else as he lost everything here at the would-be 4th base. We do see Cure trying to expand elsewhere, but that was a big loss, and that is going to be very difficult to be recovering from.
Very, very difficult. Cure, he's got a lot of orbital commands. He does have a lot of mules available to him. He's very far behind when it comes to the worker count, and he is suffering a little bit when it comes to his mineral and gas income, especially his gas income, but for the time being, these mules are enough to sustain him. He's on a comparable army count, and if he can keep this army alive, then he's going to be super maxed eventually.
Yeah, exactly, he's going to be super maxed, and here we go, Dark coming in, maxed out already at this point, catching a couple of Widow Mines, catching a couple of Marines here and there. Now this is our finishing up. We have the gold base soon to be taken. Cure is going to be punishing the gold at least. He's not taking this line down. He is dealing some damage here across the map, but this still pales in comparison. We need to pop off. We need more, and he's going for it. He's going for a double drop here towards the right.
Yeah, probably the best thing he can really do in this scenario. He needs to defend, but if he does nothing but defend, then, well, as you see in the gold base, he's just going to eventually get stopped out.
Exactly. As we took down one hatchery here towards the bottom left, it looks like we can maybe get the hatchery towards the top right as well. Big pickups here from Cure to barely shut down the hatchery. He gets the base.
He picks up and, yeah, leaves after that.
Yeah, very nicely done. And meanwhile, we do see Dark rotating around. He's going to be denying some of these other CCs. What do we have at home to defend? No ghosts, by the way. We have a couple of Liberators behind this. We have a lot of Widow Mines, but they're going to be focused down.
Just like so. And we do have the Liberators out, but yeah, this Ling Bane doesn't care. They're going into a choke point, which is not ideal for Ling Bane, but when you have this many Lings and this many Banes, it can actually be ideal. You can get a lot of very juicy connections. Another base goes down for Cure, another 11 SCVs go down, and looking at the backslide, I don't think Cure's going to be able to supermax.
Yeah, like Cure, he's just in a really difficult position here. He just was unable to gain too much momentum. Dark was able to be very greedy. Remember, he got a really fast hive. He was able to keep his work counts and his economy up and running as well. Cure did well for himself killing a hatchery early on. Remember, he killed the 4th base, but outside of that, he was really unable to get much more done here. Dark has been in the driver's seat, and he is not slowing down. He's coming in once again, this time with even lurkers.
Yeah, with even lurkers, with odd hydras, with a whole bunch of Lings and Mains.
There you go. And there
GG is called, and Dark will be taking this grand finals 3-0. GG. Very well played for Dark here.
Yeah, Dark looking dominant here in this best of 5 series against Cure, getting the 3-0, not dropping a single map throughout the entire day. I should emphasize, not just in the finals, right, but Dark was looking dominant in every single game, in every single series. Really well done here by Dark.
Yeah, absolutely very well done. Very dominant against his Protoss opponents, and also looking very dominant here against Cure, but a very different kind of dominance, right? Felt like Dark was always in control of every single map and every single game that he played today in this tournament.
Oh yeah, exactly. As we do crown our champion here, congratulations to Dark. A big shout out to Cure, as Cure did do well for himself making it here to the finals, but unfortunately was unable to get any further than that. Did meet his end at the hands of Dark, but again, no slash here, no shame in going down to Dark as a player. Dark is one of the best Zergs in all of South Korea, in the world even, so GG, well played. And yeah, with that, with that does kind of spell the end of our broadcast of our tournament.
Yeah. Copy paste this somewhere. It's in Korean. I'm not gonna try to translate that.
Yeah, we were having issues with that earlier. It's a Korean bettor who's upset about losing.
Oh well, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. With that, GG, well played, and thank you so much, Yaku, for joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know that we haven't been able to cast much over the past year of StarCraft, not even like the past couple of months, but the past year in general. So it's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the natural state.
There you go.
That's what I'm going with here.
Yaku, do you have anything planned here for December when it comes to your streams? Any kind of art streams, Crab Champion, StarCraft?
I could crab. I could craft from the stars. I did sign an NDA though, so might be limited in streaming. In what I can stream.
There you go. So if you want to tune into some of Yaku's streams, check it out there at Yakuzaku1 ! Yakuzaku in the chat, and you will get a link to his socials.
Yes.
And
Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1, Twitter.com @EmporaYakuzaku, ! Discord in the chat. That's where you can find me. That's where you can find Light. That's where you can find everyone. Literally everyone. In the CranKy Ducklings Discord server.
There you go. So you can follow us there on Discord if you want. You can follow myself. I will maybe stream tomorrow. We have a pretty jam-packed schedule. I'll try to find some time to stream and try to find some time to ladder in my own time. And if you're interested, you can follow myself at @lat_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. More importantly, DreamHack Atlanta. DreamHack Atlanta is this weekend. Be a part of it. Be there. Watch it. Embrace it. Enjoy it. It's going to be a great weekend of StarCraft.
Indeed, it really will be. Start from Friday onwards. It's going to be continuing all the way down. Be awake. Be very awake.
Be awake, Papi. Be awake. With that, do you have anything else you want to add, Yaku, before we head off for the night? Do you have anything you want to...
I would just like to remind everyone that it is not Montreal this season. ESL Masters will, in fact, be held in Atlanta.
Yeah. So be careful. I know that Yaku has been spreading some propaganda earlier, talking about...
If you're going to get a plane ticket to go watch the event, just keep that in mind.
There you go. Don't go to Montreal. Don't get the wrong ticket.
Yeah. As it turns out, they are a little bit apart from each other.
A little bit. With that, GG, well played. Again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. That is going to be our conclusion here for tonight. A bit of a shorter broadcast. I do apologize for the stream going down earlier. Yeah, that's just a little bit out of control. It's a shame, but thank you for everyone that did come back to us and did tune in for the finals. Thank you. Do appreciate it.
It is much appreciated. Yep.
Exactly. From here, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so give them some support as well. And with that, we're going to be heading off for the night.
Yeah. We'll see you all when we see you.
Yeah, see you tomorrow for ESL Americas.
There we go. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. I was waiting for the bell.
Oh.